Welcome into this latest edition of the Charleston County Connects podcast, and we are joined by Andrea Melocik, the Deputy Director from Charleston County Zoning and Planning. And Andrea is going to be part of a team that's going to be visiting all corners of the county to talk about the comprehensive plan. What is the goal of these workshops?
The goal is to get more public input than we have already gotten, so we can take that back to Planning Commission and County Council so they can consider it when they adopt the comprehensive plan 5-year review.
Okay. That sounds like a whole lot of government talk, but what exactly is the comprehensive plan? And for the everyday citizen, they probably don't think about it as much as we do because you guys are constantly working on it and updating it. What does it mean for them?
So the comprehensive plan is the vision for the county. We base it on what the public tells us they want to see. It lays out the land use policies, transportation policies, capital investments, and is used as a guide for the county to use when making decisions. So it's very important for folks to come out and give their input. And we've already started the public input process. There was a survey that was opened in November of last year and closed in January. Got a lot of great input from that. We took that to the Planning Commission, and they incorporated a lot of it. And so the public will see that when they come to the workshops, what's been incorporated, and then have the opportunity to give even more input.
Okay. You talk about some of those things that have already been incorporated. Example of little of those things,
Sure.
Impacts of the urban growth boundary?
We heard a lot about fortifying where the urban growth boundary is currently located so that we don't bleed over into the rural areas of the county. We heard a lot about transportation upgrades, making sure development is approved concurrent with transportation improvements to support it. We heard a lot about infrastructure and resilience, drainage and flooding concerns. Affordable housing was another big one. So you'll see a lot of that incorporated into the plan when the public comes out to the workshops.
Yeah, it certainly stands to reason traffic impacts, infrastructure, affordable housing are going to be a big part of this moving forward. There's a lot that can be done with people at these individual workshops, and the locations, times, and all that will be listed in the episode description. But is there an opportunity for people who can't make the workshops?
Yes. So if you go to www.charlestoncounty.org and go to the Zoning and Planning Department and then click on the Comprehensive Plan, at the bottom of that page you'll be able to see all of the workshop boards that we are presenting at the workshops. And then there will be a link to the draft plan itself with instructions on how to provide comments on the plan.
Okay.
So you'll see everything that's going to be at the workshops and more.
For somebody like yourself who deals with the public every day when it comes to these very can be confusing concepts, what about being at the workshops in person do you think helps them versus doing something online?
Probably just the ability to talk with staff, meet the staff if you don't already know us. And if you have specific questions, being able to have those answered. But of course, we're always happy to answer questions by email or phone if folks can't attend the workshops.
Okay. We talked a little bit about the separation between the rural and urban growth boundary. If you live on one side versus the other, what would that mean in terms of the land that you're on?
Sure. So the county's policy since the plan was adopted first back in 1999 has been to drive growth and development into the urban and suburban area inside the urban growth boundary. So that's where you'll find higher densities, so higher numbers of units, because that's also where the infrastructure, the water and sewer is located in order to serve those areas. Outside the urban growth boundary, the number of houses that you can develop becomes a lot less. Because the infrastructure, in a lot of cases, is not there to support it.
And that also kind of helps maintain the character of Charleston County that some folks are used to. Do you hear those comments a lot from people?
Yes, we do. Yep, and that is a integral part of the plan. And that is one of the other things that we have heard a lot through the public input survey and through the Planning Commission initial review, that they want to see that fortified, that urban growth boundary location fortified, not only through the county, but through the other jurisdictions that have also adopted the same boundary.
Oh, okay. That's an interesting concept. So when it comes to the comprehensive plan, there's a lot of discussion with the other municipalities as well?
Yep. The last time we did the 5-year review in the 2014 time period, we actually worked with the city of Charleston and the town of Mount Pleasant to adopt the same exact location of the urban growth boundary. So we were all on the same page about where it is. The city of Charleston's differs slightly, where they put a portion of James Island in the rural area, where we put all of James Island in the urban and suburban area. But that is the only difference between our boundary and the cities, and ours in the towns is exactly the same.
Yeah. So governments working together, talking together usually works out pretty well for citizens.
Yes. Correct.
Okay. How do the growth boundaries relate to development? So commercial businesses, that sort of thing.
Well, we allow some commercial businesses, of course, outside in the rural areas. It's limited what you can do because the infrastructure is not there. You can obviously do more intense commercial type development within the urban and suburban area, but the rural areas need the ability to have goods and services available to them and employment without having to drive long distances.
Okay, so that's where you could see maybe it's not necessarily manufacturing in the rural areas, but businesses like restaurants, small stores, that sort of thing?
Yes, yeah, and we have, if you look at some of our overlay districts, which is a zoning tool, along Highway 17 North, we have identified nodes all the way up through McClellanville, working with Mount Pleasant, McClellanville, and Allendale to identify those locations, and the residents, of course, where commercial can occur without having to change the zoning.
Okay.
So,
in your experience with Charleston County, how long have you been here?
Since 2003, so 20 years.
20 years.
20.
How have you seen how you guys interact with the public, even as it relates to the comprehensive plan, change over that time?
We've always done a lot of public outreach. I think the biggest change is the going digital. So, we offered an online version of our workshops when we did the 10-year update in 2018, and we had a lot of people take advantage of that. But I'm interested to see, since COVID and folks have been, become more familiar with using those tools, if we'll have more folks attend the workshops or more folks do the online version. Or there might be some folks who want to come to the workshop and see it and then go online and do the workshop. The workshop's open till August 30th.
Okay.
So.
And generally speaking, the times for these workshops will be between 5:30 and 7:30.
Yeah.
There's not like a formal presentation, really, so it's come and go as you'd like?
Yeah, it's drop-in, so you can come in, sign in, and then we will have all of the elements that are included in the comprehensive plan set up on boards around the room with staff in front of them, so you can come and look. You'll be given handouts, a comment card that you can fill out there and give it to us. You can take it with you, mail it in. You can go online and do the workshop or the online version afterwards if you prefer that. So, but we'll all be there to answer any questions that folks have.
It's awesome. This is a very important project, a lot of staff time, a lot of resources go into this. So
Correct.
It looks good. Have you heard about the new restaurant on the moon? Yeah, great food, no atmosphere. Nailed
Good
it
joke.
every time.
Nice.
Anything we didn't touch on? Anything else you wanted to add?
No, I would just add that this is not the only opportunity for public input. Once it goes to Planning Commission, those are open meetings, open to the public. People can send in comments before the meetings. I can attend the meetings, speak at the meetings, and the same for the council adoption process. Those are all open to the public, and folks can attend and speak at the meetings or send letters or emails to us beforehand or during that process.
Great. Transparency. Wonderful
Yes.
thing. Okay.
Correct.
Thank you for your time, and we'll see you again on the Charleston County Connects podcast.